All right, call a meeting to order, 7 o'clock. As we go through today, through the agenda, given the fact that today was move day and more than half of you were going crazy all day today, I want to move along as best I can and let you people get home and get some rest because you're going to have a busy day tomorrow too. So I'm going to try to keep moving. The first item is the meeting minutes from June of 19. Any questions?
I make a motion, we accept the meetings as written.
June 17th, 19, not 19.
Yeah.
Right, 2019, right?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. The treasurer's report.
Okay. So we have a bill from Bill August. I just want everybody to take a look at the bill, and then I'll put it in next month's warrant. This bill is for $1,104.32. Balance due, you'll have to look at it, $674.50. So we've already paid the previous balance. So this is for services rendered, for memos, draft letter to Verizon, review the Verizon license agreement, pay network and payment schedule, edits to the letter. This is everything that we asked Bob to work on with the attorney.
Okay.
We gave Bob that.
Right, well, he's on the agenda
This-
in a few minutes.
So this is corresponding with that, all right?
Okay.
So pass that around. This month, under our 29 account, we have $306,215.45. You can have this report when I'm done, okay? And here, I highlighted purchase and services. You can see the vendors that we've paid. And up to date right now, we have paid the contractor down there $577,000, $605.58. We still have about $300,000 to pay for the balance due.
Thank you.
That'll be in next month's report. So these are the bills that we have paid in the past month. You can pass that down. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out, we've paid 500K
500?
on 500 plus on
Yep.
the project?
Yep.
And you say there's another 300,
Well,
but
the
the
project's
project's 1.1.
Project's 1.1.
Yeah, so I'm
So
trying to.
we owe the contractor 300,000. We owe the architect the balance of his. So if you take all of those plus the miscellaneous extras, it comes out to a little under 1.1. Now we
Right.
have a $600,000 bond that
Okay.
we're now going to start paying.
Okay,
the
that's what
rest
that's
out
what
of
I'm
that
looking
bond.
for.
And while you say that, the $77,000 that is in here may be a transfer into the bond account. Just to keep everything straight, because we said we were gonna spend $500,000 out of our 29 account and 600,000 out of the bond. That's where we're gonna end up. So if we spent a little too much out of the 29 account, we'll just
Move it
shift those bills over, so everything will work out.
Short. Yeah, fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, our next meeting is August 19th, 2019. I don't see anyone saying anything, so I'm going to go on to old business. First off, the completion, and this is, we thought we weren't going to see this till September, the completion of this room's lights and ceiling tiles. And I just want to say what a difference this makes just walking in the door. The lighting and just the whole presentation of the room. I just think you did a tremendous job, Bob. Thank you very much.
Thank you, but I want to add to that. All right, we painted the walls, but there's another part of, well, we touched everything up. There's another part of this project that I want to see if we can get approval for.
Okay, that's on the agenda.
It is.
that is on the agenda under new business?
Okay. Then I will be quiet, and I appreciate your thank you.
Okay, any other comments on the room? Very good. Moving day status. Yeah,
Now we get to see how glare works in this room.
yeah.
Some of us are old enough to have the glare bother us.
All right, well,
You
we'll
know,
find
I don't know
out.
if there's anything we can do about it, but, you know, it's,
Photo gray lenses.
it
Photo gray lenses.
doesn't work.
There you go. Bob, the move, how did you do?
I didn't do almost nothing. I met the movers at 7:30 a.m. this morning. Showed them the color coding system that we used to differentiate what was charters, what was an item that we considered important enough to have hands-on first floor, and things that were less important or we may only look at once or twice a year, and those were listed as going up to the mezzanine. Once they got over their excitement of having everything color-coded, they proceeded to jump into the move, and they put in a day's work, and they were great guys to work with, very accommodating. They got everything loaded, and they finished their day after they'd taken everything off the truck at, I think, 2:30, quarter of 3. They even got the tightrope service system off the truck into the building and into the space, as if it was designed for it. It really, there was a couple of tense moments, but it worked perfectly. Gary Pink of Oakers Company / ISG / camera company has been a dream to work with, as has Jonathan Lipsey. And Marty Feldman has been on the site at least a half a dozen times, making sure that everything's going as advertised. Jonathan took down the lighting and placed it on the floor in the studio, and said that he'll come back when everything else is done and then take care of the lighting. He dismantled the curtain on the track and packed that up and brought that down and hung that.
No, I'm just, when you're ready for a question, I'm just curious. I think our track now is higher off the floor than it was. Has he done something like chains?
That was the next thing I was gonna say.
Okay.
He hung up the curtain and he said, yeah, as you can tell, we have a problem. We went from a T-length skirt to a mini skirt, and he measured the recommended distance that he thought we should buy for chain. It's gonna be
18 inches.
18
I
inches
think that's
additional.
what you said, yeah.
And
Okay.
to lower it down. It's not something we have to worry about tomorrow. We can do that in a week or two. He also resolved, I know this is on the agenda, if I go out of sequence, I apologize. He also took care of the ladder issue for us. Bob can talk more about that. And I think that pretty much covers it. We got the editing suite units installed today. Bill and I took care of that. That's pretty much it.
When do you think you're gonna reach a point where you say, okay, we're moved in and we're now fully operational?
When they tell me.
2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
So you think by next meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I
be
hope
back
so.
on air in a month, absolutely.
We're hoping it's 2 weeks. I mean, Andy Deshane asked me, he goes, what do you think your expectation is? And I said, well, I seem to remember us talking about the possibilities of it could be up to 2 weeks. So that number kind of stuck in my head. So that's the number I've been going with. So we'll see.
So you're pleased, so,
So, I mean, I can't find anything to be unpleased about.
okay, good. Let's not look for it if it's
Yeah,
not there.
it's really, I was amazed at how smooth the whole thing went today.
Plan ahead, plan ahead. Did you have anything? You were saying? All right.
Are you where you can edit, process recordings of shows?
Our plan is, Gary Pink actually just told Jack this evening that he was gonna try and get us internet tomorrow.
Okay.
And if he does, then I can take the processed video and just put it onto the town's YouTube page for the time being. And that'll be our Band-Aid until we get up and running. If we don't have internet service in the next day or two, I'll simply go up here, bring one of the computers with me, set up in this room or in any available room, and just do it here. And
Okay, you're not ready to be using the computers down in the new space at all?
we're completely black, everything.
Gary told me today before he left, he said, Tightrope server is plugged in, but we don't have any cable and we don't have any Wi-Fi. So he said he's gonna try his hardest to get it tomorrow, but it was the kind of thing where it's like, it might not happen, but that's my goal. Like, that's what I'm gonna go for tomorrow. And he said exactly what Bob said, you can get the stuff up onto YouTube, we won't be able to program it into the channels.
Yeah, once a tightrope is connected to communications,
The fiber's not
what
coming
more
in.
is needed to get back on the air?
Why don't we just say, we don't know, they
Yeah.
get 2 weeks to do their work?
Yeah.
Well, there are people out there asking,
Yeah, they just, well, but we all knew, we moved from.
Yeah, we thought we were
location
gonna
A
be
to B.
off the air for a month.
well,
Yeah, so.
That's what we told people, so
Right, so-
if we're off the air for 2 weeks.
We know the patient's gonna survive, we just don't know how the patient's gonna
Yeah.
survive. It's, there was, Gary had mentioned that in a perfect world, he would have the Charter tech and the Verizon tech at his side, and they'd all be working together. Well, he knows that's never gonna be the way it is, and then he no sooner described that story to me, and a Charter guy showed up.
Yeah.
So, one hurdle taken care of. So if Verizon shows up in the next 48 hours, then that's a good thing. So he gave me the impression that until Charter and Verizon fulfill their commitments to the project, he can only go so far. So,
Yeah, I was more worried about the on-demand than I was, where I am, about the cable channels. And they're, once you have internet and a running tightrope in principle.
Yeah, then those will
you
come
can start
back.
delivering video on demand.
Right.
Which, considering the amount of response there's been this weekend over the audio on,
We'll talk about that.
I have a feeling that our largest audience is on the internet.
Well, they're all complaining right now anyways.
Yeah, that's it. Can we pass those back around? while you're-
Toma made a very good
Thank you.
Facebook post letting everyone know the situation.
All right, we're gonna talk about that, so, thank you, Bob. The architect errors versus the change orders,
I have nothing.
nothing?
I have nothing. Nothing to add to that right now. I'm still.
Should
talking
we
to him.
revisit it next month?
Until the project's over, we're gonna revisit it.
Okay, we'll revisit. All right, revisit the Bally lift, Mr. Berger.
So, we've decided that we're not gonna go that route. We're gonna go with a 12-foot ladder. We bought the ladder today.
Yeah,
We bought a fiberglass 12-foot ladder, and that's it, because Jonathan needed a ladder to get up there. So I measured, it's 12 feet, right to the run, so if you go up, you're gonna get your plug, which is 16 feet, if you're standing on the second step. So there's a few times you're gonna be at that second step, and I'm confident that we're okay.
all right. So I'm gonna take out the, under new business, we were gonna have a ladder discussion.
Yeah, that's
So
out.
that becomes moot,
Yeah,
so we can take that out.
Okay.
What are the new ladder costs?
under $300.
But now, the one that you've been using, was it 10?
It's a 10, there's 2
Okay,
feet too short.
so it's 2 feet more.
Yeah.
But now, you said 12 comes to where
12
relative?
comes to, right at the grid.
That means you gotta be careful when you move it around that you don't run into the
Absolutely.
lights.
Absolutely. But if you go with a 10, then you're gonna be short.
Actually,
All right.
you don't think you wanna keep the 10 for when you're doing that kind of work?
Sure, we can keep the 10, but I wanted
Yeah,
everybody to be
sure.
comfortable
Yep.
getting way up high.
Yep, yep, yep.
And if they're not comfortable with the 10, they have a 12
Mm-hmm.
just to readjust a light.
Yeah. So
So we're gonna have a 10 and a 12.
Okay. What was the prices that you had researched, Corson?
This one, which is the shorter of the two, because I got one that's even taller, but sounds like you don't need quite as high. This is 110 inches to the platform on the top, which would mean it's 9 feet. The other one is 10 feet to the platform you're standing on. This is $736 versus the other one, $1,179.
All right.
Uline.
Let me just ask the question this way. Given the ladder we had and the ladder you procured, are we good as far as accessibility on a ladder?
I think we are.
And everybody's nodding their head there? Okay,
As long as they're.
Thank you for that.
As long as they're comfortable standing on a ladder.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is a
What
set
you're
of stairs.
talking about is
Yeah.
not standing on a ladder, you're standing on a set of stairs or
Right,
the
with the
lift
handrails.
that I said. And we, we didn't have
handrails.
the appetite for that, which was fine.
Pass those around if you want.
So we went with this.
So that was what I was thinking, is that you wanted to have a certain amount of comfort and safety going up and down this thing. And I figured that if you have to do stuff with the lights, where you have to do something, get down, take a look at it, get back up again and so forth, it's just easy going up and down a set of stairs than it is a lift and,
Yep.
for
Now,
that matter, a
we can
ladder.
revisit this later.
Well, I was just gonna say, let's, after we move in and after we start to get a feel of the studio, if we think they will not meet our needs, I think the work that you've done is gonna be perfect.
The other thing too is that it's sturdy enough where you could mount a, a floodlight or a fill light
Yeah, I don't think
from
we
it
have
if
to
you
do
needed
that,
to.
but we do
I'm
have
just
a-
simply saying,
We
a
do
remote.
we do have a spot to store it, so we know where we're gonna store these ladders now. They're not gonna go in the storage room or the scenery room. They're gonna go right in the corner. Right in the corner where the double doors are that lead outside.
Right.
Because that's a dead spot in the studio.
Yeah, I think you're gonna enjoy using the shorter ladder when you can, because they're easier to move.
All right. So that sounds like we can put that under the good list for now, anyway. Let's move on to Bob, your discussion with August relative to the Verizon payment. What'd you find out?
Yeah, well, I told him the same things that I told you. I wrote it all up, sent it off. We exchanged back and forth a few times. And he did due diligence to be sure that what we were saying was supportable, more so than we have in, I used to have, when I was chair, I used to have to do this with the charter. I did send an email off, and I'd get an email back, and we'd be done, but he wants, he's writing a letter for the, so anyway, he got it all verified, yep, exactly. Wrote up a letter to send, he's looking for it to be on town letterhead and probably signed by Tim. We got that on Friday. I sent it off to Bob, asking him if he could facilitate it with Tim. I haven't heard anything back.
From Bob?
Might have something to do with the move, huh?
No, it's just been very busy today. That is on my list to walk that into Tim's office and go over it with him. Tim
All
and
right,
Cindy.
so let's, do you have a comfort level for where we are?
I'm
at least right
only
now?
uncomfortable, we haven't mailed the letter yet.
Okay, but as far
And
as,
I'm assuming that Tim is not gonna
okay,
have,
so let's revisit
Oh,
this.
Tim was CC'd on the last round.
That's right.
So and so was Cindy, because Cindy's been in the middle of the loop with August
I'll just
verifying.
Mr. Chair, I'll just verify with the town administrator's office. They have the letter and they'll take care of it.
Okay, very good, thank you, and thank you for doing that. The status updates, the FCC table to September, it's not September, and the more and more I'm thinking, I keep saying that this is for a town meeting placeholder, but I'm really not seeing any
I
town
don't even know
meeting
if we
act.
wanna keep on discussing it, because it's gonna be a moot point until they do something about it.
And then we're gonna have to deal with it then.
Right,
Okay,
so I
I'm
would
gonna take it
I
out.
would take it off until further notice.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yeah, I haven't been sure why we were actually carrying it, except if we were gonna worry some more about it.
I was just reluctant to take it off, so I
okay.
just left it on.
I
Okay,
am concerned about it.
oh, sure. Any other old business anyone have? Okay, moving forward, new business, reorganization. The office, historically, we reorganize the July meeting after, and I presume that everyone has been reappointed or hasn't?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, good. So, the offices are chair, vice chair, clerk, and treasurer.
I move we keep Jim Gallagher as chair.
Second.
Okay, any other nominations?
You have any interest in it, Bob?
Of course.
I nominate Bob if he's willing to accept the
Okay,
position.
is there a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Any other nomination for chair? Okay. I'm very uncomfortable doing this, but, all right, hearing no discussion, we'll ask for a vote. And I'm just gonna go around the room. Mr. Berger?
Oh, so aren't we, didn't you say you want to open it up for discussion? Did we
I thought there
discuss?
was no more discussion. I asked if there was any other.
Oh, okay. So now we're just gonna vote for one or the other.
Wait, does anyone have any other discussion? Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Berger?
Jim?
Mr. Totoma?
Jim.
Mr. Jack?
Jim.
Mr. Rich?
Jim?
Rick, I'm gonna vote for myself.
I'll vote for myself.
Bob
Okay,
That's
that's
doesn't.
5-2, so thank you very much.
You writing all this down?
On it.
Okay, the vice chair,
I nominate Rick Schultz to continue
Rick
as
Schultz.
vice chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second. Any other nomination? Hearing none, move that we reelect by acclamation. Any opposition? Okay, Rick, congratulations. Treasurer,
I move Bob Berger for treasurer.
Second.
all right, motion made and seconded. Any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing none,
that's too
move
bad.
for, by reclamation, or whatever the hell that word is. Any objection? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Clerk,
I move
We nominate Bob DeTomer as clerk.
Second.
second. Any other nominations? Hearing none, move for acceptance by acclamation. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Done.
reorganization. Publicity,
With that being said, Mr. Clerk, you have a form to fill out now and submit that to Candy.
I have a form?
Yeah, when we reorganize, there's this form.
Oh, yeah, I have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can submit that to Candy.
I thought you were talking about a different form.
No,
Okay.
no.
all right, we have been talking about trying to get some publicity, perhaps partnering with the school system. I had the pleasure of communicating with Karen Mealy, and I am going to have a sit-down with her at the high school on August 26th. So what I'd like, seeing that we have a meeting before then, what I'd like, if this will be on the agenda for August, if everyone could give some thought, and if you have any direction or suggestions that you can give me to bring to her. I know that we've had some already looking at, suggestions about like things that, like the Apple Tree Arts have done and things like that. But if you have any suggestions that would help me during that little meeting, or if anyone would like to join me, we're going to discuss this again at the August meeting.
I might be interested if I'm around. Can you give us any background on her, where she fits into all this and what her?
She's just, I spoke with the school committee and asked who would be a good person to talk about this project. And then they got back to me and put me in touch with Karen Mealy. And apparently she is, her position, I'm not real clear, I'm not sure I can answer your question completely. But my understanding is that if there's anyone who would be in a position to blend anything like that, it would be her.
But is she, a teacher, or
I
staff?
I went to the school, and she is an English teacher. She's in the English department. She's one of the teachers that actually pushes more creative works.
Okay, and does she do any of this sort of thing? Do we know if she does that other sort of thing for the schools or anybody?
No idea.
I have no idea about that.
Okay,
All I know is
okay.
that she's a good English
That's
teacher.
a lot of the things that I'm hoping to find out, and it's certainly, it's gonna be at 3 o'clock on the 26th, so again, we'll talk about this
August
again.
26th?
August 26th at 3, and we'll talk about this again next month, but if you want to tag along, that'd be great.
I'd be interested too.
I'd also
Okay,
be
great.
interested.
Okay, great, we can
Now
have,
you're gonna have to post a meeting.
Yep.
I can do that.
Yeah, well, when we get a little closer.
All right. All right, you know how well I do posting meetings on time. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, we had an incident at Conference Room A during the Selectmen's meeting, and it was really kind of fouled up. There was some concern by a lot of folks. I did reach out, and what I was told is that a trouble ticket was opened, and that technicians were responding, but that at the time that I had asked about this, it was, I haven't heard about a resolution. Can someone bring me up to
Sure.
date?
So as you know, we contract out for our IT guys to come in quarterly, but their quarterly was that Monday after the incident. But we called them up and we said, we need somebody here immediately because we're gonna have a meeting on Monday and we don't want you to show up on Monday and maybe have to order a part. We wanna nip it in the bud. So we want a service call today and we still want you to come in on Monday. So they came in and they took a look at it. And
I'm sorry, when is this again now, just the
What
Mondays?
is the problem?
But how, what's the date, do you remember?
it was the date after the planning board.
Okay, when was that? Is that 2 weeks ago? A week ago? I'm just trying to get my.
Planning board was a week ago.
A week ago.
What we're talking about, the microphones weren't working.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That was a,
Which for a 5-hour meeting with a
Yeah.
room jam with people.
I know,
well,
but
yeah,
that-
it's
but
clearly
that's-
it was a problem,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is a
Oh.
problem. But,
So what are
when
we
you
doing
have
about it?
all these electronics, right?
So we're
You're going
out.
to have, you're always going to have a little glitch here and there. We don't have too many of them. We get a couple of them. All right. So I don't know, and he doesn't know if we had some sort of brownout or if we had some sort of surge. I didn't see a brownout or a surge in this building, but something clearly happened, and the electronics got overloaded. Now our team knows how to bring the room down, power the room down, and bring it back up, but it didn't clear like that chicken bone in the throat. So he gave us a procedure now on how to clear it, and that's basically pulling the rack out. He gave us directions with pictures, taking the communication cable, unplugging it, and plugging it back in, and it resets it. So if we knew how to do that, then we could have had the system back up and running. He didn't have to replace any parts. He powered down and powered back up. That didn't work. He disconnected the communication cable in the Aja, and that cleared everything.
Now, have we had any kind of meeting there since?
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't resurface?
No. This has happened once before, a year ago.
Maybe.
So we didn't know how to fix it a year ago. They came in, they fixed it. Now I asked them for a procedure on how to fix it.
So if
that
something like that happens
But
again-
you know what? Even if it does happen, do we want our guys to go in the
No.
back of the rack?
No.
I don't think so. I think the only thing we want them to do is do a hard power down and power back up. But
Have you
if-
had a meeting since?
No.
We meet almost every week, but no.
No.
No,
Okay.
but I'm confident the system works.
Okay, good.
I mean, all you have to do is turn it on, and you can see the microphones go up and down on the Aja.
I was down there earlier, just before this meeting, turned everything on. Just because I thought we had the meeting down there, but everything was working
Yeah,
fine.
I know it
Speakers
works.
were working. Everything was working great.
And then we had our technician in today. Today? Yeah, he came in because he put the camera back
Yeah,
today.
it's Monday, yeah.
He came in today. He did his rounds, for our studios, and there's nothing wrong with downstairs. So downstairs is now operational.
So we're good. So it's entirely possible that, given the dynamics of the head of the planning board, that could have caused the power overload. Could have been all on you.
No, I wasn't chair anymore.
All
He
right.
also wasn't there yet. He walked in, and then he saw the camera.
But I also have
That
to
just
say,
occurred to me a minute ago. I thought I had you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I also have to say that your team, or our team, did a great job.
Our team always does a great
Because,
job. Quite
they
proud.
knew there was a problem. They knew they couldn't fix it, but they found a solution. They took the video from the cameras and they brought a another camera in just to grab the video,
Camcorder.
Audio.
a camcorder.
The on
And then they
camera.
sunk them together, so we didn't lose the meeting.
So now, when we come back online, we'll actually be able to put that on demand.
It's already on demand, I saw it.
Well, I don't know how you're seeing it on demand now.
I saw it on demand before we shut
Yeah,
the switch
and
off.
I had scheduled it as well. Tacoma
So-
got it up like that.
The moral of the story is, there was a problem, but they got through it. MacGyvers.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other concerns about that?
Yeah, what I said before.
All right, very good. Status of the Windows upgrade, Mr. Tacoma, that's a done deal now. Everybody's on the same page now? Is that my understanding? Can I take that out?
I'm not even sure what the status of the Windows upgrade
We
was.
had, there was a question on the Windows upgrade, and,
Yeah, okay.
Computers.
Dave, yeah. It's been a long day. Dave from,
Coughlin Electric.
thank you, came down to the studio, spent a good portion of the day working on the machines. He updated the machines that could be updated. Two of the three failed, so we didn't update them. They still function, they still work, but they just weren't available for updates. So it's when you can buy a new machine, which comes with the update, so you can just continue using the one you're using,
With the old software.
with the old software, yeah.
is it Windows 7?
Well, I think it's Windows 7. The point is, the software that runs under Windows 7
Yeah.
is different than, the one that's, the new one that runs under 10. And so you don't get everything.
But it has to be addressed by the end of 2019.
That's my understanding, is that if we don't have Windows 10 by 2019, that all of the support is out the window for anything younger than that. And that's all I know. I don't even know what that means. But I've heard that, so I mean, I am completely at a loss. So let me just ask this. Is there an issue that we have an action that we have to take in this thing?
Keep it on for next month. I will talk to Dave, and he might recommend 2 new computers.
Can you get us a price for so that we're up and running? Get the computers, do whatever needs to be done,
Yeah, that'll be Dave's job.
okay, because it's not just a computer, it's
No,
gotta
no,
be
no,
swapped
it's the
out
software, the whole nine
and stuff
yards.
moved, and
Yep.
all of that. But, yeah, the census I read has the same problem. Census runs on or some of the census runs on Windows 7, and it won't be secure, as if Windows ever was secure, but, it won't even be getting updates, in
Alright.
time for the election.
So we'll keep it on there, and I'm sure everyone's doing their due diligence about the whole Windows environment.
Yeah.
I know it can be a pain. See what I did there? See what I did?
Well, how many Windows machines do we have versus?
Said 3, you said?
Max.
No, they have 2 that could be updated. That's what I heard.
Yeah, but
Could
that's
not.
not what he asked. He asked how many we have total in the building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you count the 2 that were on Chris's desk, 6, 7, we might have 8 different Windows
Wow.
machines.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of the ones, I thought that the discussion was with respect to Tightrope, and the computers that are inside the Tightrope.
Yeah, the two that have access, I'm sorry, the 4 that have access to Tightrope are the one that Bill uses, Jack uses, and the 2 that I use. That's it.
No, I'm talking about the computers in, I thought that we got something that was talking about Tightrope. It has computers in it, it needed to be updated.
I can check with Gary tomorrow when he shows up.
Yeah, but also Chris was in that loop too.
Chris was doing the updates for Tightrope itself, but,
Right.
and,
Okay, anyway,
yeah. I think it's in his report about how maybe
Yeah,
he
that's
left it
gonna-
out, I don't recall, but he talked about the updates for the Tightrope. I don't remember any of it being relative to Windows.
Okay,
So-
thank you. Can I ask, when this goes back on the agenda for the Windows upgrade, who should be the lead? You? Okay,
I'll talk
Thank
to
you.
Dave. I see him all the time anyway.
very good. The next item, there has been, if you've been in the town clerk's office, one of the things that you can notice under the desks is the power package. It's a Power Plus package that enables them to have access to power, online capabilities, and things like that. And what has been suggested is that this power plug purchase be done for this room. And would you just address that, sir?
Sure. So, you know, we built the room. We have these cords running on the floor, all over here. We have 2 snakes running back there. And, you know, and you get this big mess underneath this desk over here. And number one, it's a trip hazard, it's a fire hazard. And I'm putting in the planning board 2 floor boxes for them because we put that service counter in. So I want to take care of this room while I take care of that room downstairs. So what I'm looking for is a floor box underneath here, a floor box underneath there,
Underneath there?
underneath
being-
the presenter's table,
Okay.
a 2-inch conduit running through the floor, inside the control room so everything has a place to go up. I want to get rid of that pipe that goes up and put it underneath the floor. The floor box that goes on there and here, it's gonna have a conduit between them, so we don't have to go in the ceiling, we can just go inside the conduit and bring a new wire over there if we want without leaving the floor.
But that's gonna be in the space between this floor and the ceiling downstairs.
That's right. That's right.
You think
That's right.
2 inches is enough? Actually, if you're gonna run signals and,
2-inch EMT. 2-inch
uh,
EMT.
2 inches, about that big.
That's
But I'm saying, sometimes you don't wanna run your signal cables in the same pipe as your, power.
We're not.
Well, you're just talking about power.
No, that's for the microphone.
Oh.
That's for the microphone. And then these have separate power. So to do the planning board's like $2,500. To do here is $39.80 because this is more work. Because we have to open up the ceiling in the town administrator's office. The planning board, you just drop down into the basement, right?
Conference room A, you mean? You keep saying the
Yeah.
planning board. Oh, no, okay,
No,
no, you're right.
planning board.
Yeah.
So I want you to just look at this, right? And then this is the box that we're gonna be using. So this is what I'm hoping to do, and I'd like to have a vote on it, because I am scheduling the planning board, and it's a separate company that comes in and actually does the coring of the cement, because these are cement floors. So it's kind of involved, because I need the electricians here to open up underneath and to drill a hole and line up where they want the coring company to come in to core all those holes.
All right, let's do this. Let's just take a minute while that goes around and give us a chance to see if there's any informed questioning. We'll revisit that again. I'm gonna move along. The ladder discussion, as we said, that's been resolved. The studio report from Chris, did anyone have any questions after reviewing it?
Nope.
We're gonna
Yeah,
go down.
are we on track as far as Chris's part of the new location?
I'm asking that next.
We have no information from anyone relative to Chris's future.
I was just gonna ask that, just for the record. You stole my thunder.
Sit down.
All right, so we're good on Chris's report?
Yes.
And so where will he go tomorrow?
Chris continues to report to 296 Providence Road.
296 Providence Road is still Charter's suite.
Well, then, that's, hey, Bill, August, what's going on?
I don't understand.
Bill August needs to be involved in negotiating with Charter about Chris's situation. And I've been saying that for a year.
And let me ask you a question, Bob. What do you want to happen with Chris?
I want him to keep doing his job, the same job.
Co-located with us.
Yeah, well, he has certain roles that he fills.
But we want him to be geographically located with us, right?
Sure.
Yes. And what happens if he's not? I mean, we might be part of the group that's lucky to have him, but there's other public access that have a guide 2 days a week. So, what happens if that happens with us? Do we have a problem with that? I don't
I
know.
do.
I'm asking.
I do.
I do.
Chris is in charge of the studio. And there's a reason, among other things, there's a reason for that. We have a different set of responsibilities under some of the rules that control things than Charter has. It's clear where things stand with a cable company like Charter. Better to have Chris be the one in between on making certain decisions and doing certain things. Anyway, it's in the contract, it's in the license. He's ours 5 days a week, in the license.
Does it say 5 days a week?
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, but what does that?
Oh,
Because I don't know.
Never mind.
Well, I don't have an.
Never
argument
mind.
with
No.
you. I just don't know. I don't know why you're saying that. I'm
No,
trying to
you're,
have a
you're,
discussion.
No, if we're gonna have a discussion on this, then we gotta hear the whole background, all right? And we need to,
'Cause I don't know.
determine, so,
But-
I guess my question is, and I happen to agree with Bob, that I really think we should, it benefits us to have him co-located with us 5 days a week. And if that's, and I'm sure we're not the only ones that think like that, so if that's the case, should we in fact be doing something else right now?
We
That's
should
my
have been doing
question.
something a
But,
long
well,
time
that's,
ago.
the long time ago is history. Let's talk about from here forward. Is there something we should be doing now to assure that, and am I wrong? Do we, well, hang on now, hang on.
is there?
Hang on,
Yeah.
well, hang on. Is there a consensus here that we want him there 5 days a week?
I don't know. I don't work there, so I don't have.
Well, I'm asking for your opinion. Well, I'm just gonna go around and poll.
And I would have to defer to the people that work with him
Okay,
there
Bob?
because I can't.
From the day I came on board to today, it's my opinion that we don't need him 5 days a week.
Okay, Jack?
I agree with Bob. I think he does a good job, but is he necessary 5 days a week? No.
Okay, Rick?
I kind of agree with them. Yeah, I don't think he's necessary 5 days a week.
All right, well, I have the least knowledge here of all, and he's always been here 5 days a week, and I kind of think that he should be here 5 days a week. See?
I've been here
Corson?
forever. I'm the access coordinator, actually, according to the selectmen.
Well, congratulations, we'll get you a uniform.
100
Yeah, for 100 years, okay. So. the-
I've
the
I've
answer is
worked
yes?
with him since day one. Of
Okay, but your answer is yes, 5.
course. I want to know what we're going to get.
Oh, hang on, Corson?
I'm inclined to keep things the same until we know otherwise.
All right.
Because I don't have enough information to say no, that he shouldn't, that it
All
shouldn't be
right,
5 days.
given that the board is split, I think, and somebody stop me if this is not a good idea. I think we need to, I would think that the person that has to coordinate this is probably gonna be August, right? To actually come out, someone has to determine what is Chris's geographical schedule. And how we do that or who we ask, I don't know. Is any reaction to that?
Yeah, well, I have no idea where we stand. I thought I was told that August was on top of this. I don't know what's being done with Charter as far as walking away from the 298.6. I don't know what's going on. I thought that base was being covered. I was told that it was being covered. It isn't being covered, apparently.
Mr.
And
Chair,
someone who knows what is going on with it should be involved with it.
So,
I will report back to the committee.
okay,
Okay. I will reach out to Bill. I will reach out to John.
Well, since
Okay,
you're looking to get rid of
I'm not looking to get
No,
rid of
he's
anybody.
not. No, he's
Well,
not.
I didn't even say that I
No,
wanted
I
him.
just asked for a sense.
I didn't want him.
I just asked for a sense, that's all, that's all. Everyone agrees to the fact that he still has a viable purpose here. We're just talking about how many days now, but let's do this so that, wait a minute now, wait a minute, so that we're doing something constructive. Why don't you report back to us in August and let us know what charter, or if you can find out, what does charter intend to do with scheduling Chris's physical appearance? Based on what you find out, at that point, we may or may not want to involve August to see if there's something else that we should be doing. But let's do this progressively. So first, let's find out where we are, instead of saying, we should have done this, we should have done that, I didn't know this, I didn't know that. Let's find out what's gonna happen, okay?
Maybe it would help if we knew what Chris does.
That's what I was leading up to, is that, as aware, we know what he's done over the years in the past. You obviously see something that's occurred that's different. It'd be nice to know what that difference is from what he hasn't, as far as what that was.
It's not a reflection on Chris's performance. It's a reflection on the changing atmosphere of PEG Access Television. And as our obligations have become heavy to make sure that we record government meetings and get them out in a timely manner, we don't spend a lot of time helping volunteers make video, which means he doesn't help volunteers make video. And the last video he helped produce was the history project for Linda Casey, and he did all the damn work.
And it was a really good show from what I'm.
That's not in debate.
Yeah,
But
and-
he had the time to do nothing but her project.
Good. Well, it might be that there could be more leadership as far as fully utilizing all of the people. That's been a problem for forever. Leadership's actually been coordinating two different commands.
Yeah.
Has been a problem for forever, and it needs to be looked at a bit. Now, who's, you guys gonna teach the access, new access producers?
We
That's
don't-
one of the things he does,
We don't know what the future holds.
I believe I am the last person to be registered as a producer,
right?
and that was in 2017.
Yeah.
And I came on with a lot of knowledge preemptively.
Yeah.
And I already spoke about today with Bill, wondering exactly what we're wondering. If Chris leaves, who's gonna fill his responsibilities that are also our responsibilities? Not what he does for charter.
You don't, no. First of all, I'm gonna report back. I may, talk to Chris and ask him for a list of his responsibilities or what his job duties really are. But we're not saying, oh, no, I have the floor for a minute. We're not saying that you're taking on his responsibilities. If there's an access course that happens, well, charter has to put that on.
Not if you get rid of the provision in the license that says they're gonna
But
do it.
we haven't. Our license is still good for another 2 years.
Right.
And that's not what I was saying at all. All I was trying to say is, me and Bill talked about it, and we were saying like, oh, we could teach that course. That'd be something to teach.
But that's
all.
exactly what I'm saying you're not doing.
And we're not saying we are doing that either. It's
Right,
just-
so that's not part of this discussion. What's part of the discussion is, under the license agreement, charter's responsibilities is A, B, and C.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, until 2020. And then we're going into negotiations now. We're starting that process. So we have another year or so with the agreement that we have right now.
Okay.
Question we have is, when we move, is Chris coming with us for the 5 days a week?
Okay, and,
That's the question.
all right, I'm next. And I think as you go over with Chris what his duties are and his responsibilities, I would certainly, and I'm sure you would do this anyway, but make it abundantly clear that we're thrilled about what he has done for us and what he does for us, and we're not questioning his knowledge, skills, and abilities at all.
Absolutely. No.
No, I just want to, that's,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
I'm using this as a tool, not as a hammer.
okay, very good.
I
All
just-
right, let's
Wait,
revisit
one
that.
more.
One quick, one thing I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to mention. As far as list of duties, responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
he actually has two lists. There is a responsibility to his employer
Yeah,
and a responsibility to us.
Good point.
So there are two lists of things that he's involved in or that he'd be doing.
good point.
And it may be that the list of what we're asking him to do is far
Contradictory
less
to,
than what we used to
Yeah.
provide for him. And it may be that it's due to the larger staff that we have, where he isn't as much needed to do the things that we used to ask him to do.
yeah. All right. Did you have anything, Bob?
Yeah, keep distracting me here.
Sorry.
Well, it's not
I-
your meeting, that's why. Well, I'll distract you all I want. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah, oh, well, the license says the charter will provide a studio and a person.
Yes.
Until you negotiate a change in the license, where are they?
We've already started that.
that-
Well,
conversation.
I'm asking about that, because see, that hasn't been shared with us at all.
I've already started that conversation with John.
Does that, the current license, does it say that when they provide that, does it say for, like, to what extent? Like, how many days, things like that?
Well, the studio's provided 24/7. And the person, it's a
support.
person to man the studio. It's always been a person who is full-time. We started having these town-paid people because we needed more than 40 hours.
Yes.
And, but my other piece is, I look around at some of the other towns, and they've got strong public access. Ours has gone away. One of the reasons that I wanted to get the kind of person I was talking about for this publicity was to drive more like we used to towards public access. You know public access. We've been doing that since 89.
Five, anyway, I think.
And I think that we're falling down not promoting public access, and people participating in public access.
You're right. We're not gonna get involved in unless people know about it, and
Right.
we need to do that.
Right.
And that's why I want to solicit the school department to get those kids down here.
Well,
Because
yeah.
that's where it's all gonna.
Exactly.
that's
I
where it's
mean,
all gonna
you know,
pick up.
But
That's
is that gonna
certainly
be
a-
more hours for our people?
We don't know. We don't know,
Well,
but
no,
let's.
there's a reason
yeah.
I ask, because once you get past a certain number of hours a week,
Yeah.
and I bet you, well, I'd love to see the numbers, but I can't imagine they're getting what they're done in the time we used to think.
All right,
was
well,
their time.
let's move forward a step at a time. I still think so fondly of John LaPointe. And I think things like this continue to point at the value that he provided for us. So let's go back to the power plug purchase for room F. Is
I
there
make a motion.
Is there a motion?
I make a
made?
motion that we expend $4,000.
Okay.
Because you have it there. $4,000 to install the plugs as listed out, or the equipment as listed out in the estimate, from DMH.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Jack?
There's two different price points, one on the first page, one on the third page.
Yeah, the first page I said was the planning board, the second page is
Room F.
room F.
Okay, so are those combined? Is it the 3,900 and the
Oh,
2,600?
yeah,
Okay.
you're not paying the 2,600.
Okay.
Now, I'm just interested in what you're gonna end up with at the points in the room here.
So what you're gonna have here is you're gonna have two snake heads coming out of the box.
Snakeheads.
That's the snake. The 12-point
Multi-port.
multi-port, that's a snake head. So you're gonna have two snake heads here. You're gonna have a plug here, 110 plug, and an internet jack.
So there will be power in it.
But there's power downstairs, but they're coming in two different places. You know, one's going up this way and one's going down that way. Over there, I might as well give you power, and you're going to have a microphone, but you're also gonna have a conduit from there to here, so if we wanna snake another wire, we just push a snake through and you have another wire. And then you're gonna have over there just a pipe that goes down and it ends up over here again, because this is where the snake is. And all the data communication is gonna go back over by the rack. We're gonna have a 2-inch EMT that's gonna come up through the.
EMT?
Electrical metallic tubing.
You said power and internet, you mean Cat 5, Cat 6?
Cat 5 or Cat 6. Well, it's all Cat 5 here anyway, so it's gonna be Cat 5.
You said a microphone. I wouldn't mind if you had more than one wire, just in case we wanted to have more than one microphone.
Yeah, we can. It's all on the snake. How many inputs we actually
Yeah,
have
but the-
back there. You're gonna have a conduit between it, so we
Yeah.
can do anything we want.
But if, I put in a couple of wires. But now, are these gonna be loose connectors, or do you have a plate, or?
In here will be a plate. In here's just gonna be the snake head.
20 amp?
The snake head's this big.
I
There's
didn't
two
hear
of
what you
them.
said.
Is it 20 amp?
Yeah, it's a 20 amp circuit.
Okay.
That's for the 110. But for the microphones, you have this big box. You have two big boxes underneath this desk that you plug the microphones in. So that's what's going to come out of this floor box. We're getting rid of all that. And then, just for the hell of it, I'm going to give that desk power over there and get rid of that extension cord. That's on the house. I'll throw that in.
What a guy.
What a deal.
You gonna put that through the floor, or?
No, I'm going to come out of that wire box and pipe along the wall.
All right,
Well,
any
then
other,
you'll have to have one of those walkover things.
No, because that's the plug. I'll bring it closer to the wall.
any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We can afford
Unanimous.
this?
Yes.
Yes, I had asked about that when he asked me about that. Thank you. Okay, just mention in passing that, I'm gonna be away the beginning of, September. So, after the next meeting, I'm gonna ask if you would, be in charge of preparing the notices and shit like that for the meeting.
Can you bleep that when you,
In a couple days,
Stuff.
Yeah.
All right. All right, any other motion on the floor?
Move to
adjourn?
Second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much.